Bao Island Storyteller, Journey to the West. Hey kids, welcome to Bao Island. On Bao Island, every story has a taste. Today's taste is mist and red lanterns on old stone steps. This episode, we're in Jiufen. Today's story, Emperor visits the Underworld.
Welcome aboard the Bao Island bus, everyone. I'm your captain. We've been climbing a very steep, very winding road for the last 20 minutes. You may have noticed the sea appearing and disappearing through the trees on your left. We are now parked at the top of Jiufen Old Street in New Taipei's Ruifang district. Step off the bus, take a breath. The air up here smells like rain and charcoal and old wood. The lanterns are already lit even though it's still afternoon. Red paper lanterns hanging from every eave, swaying in the sea wind. Below us, tea houses perched on the hillside, stone steps dropping away through the fog, and far below, the Pacific Ocean.
Odd, oh. This is the most beautiful place we've been so far. Everything is glowing.
Jiufen was a gold mining town. In the 1890s, when gold was discovered here, thousands of people flooded in. The whole hillside filled up with miners, merchants, noodle shops, opium dens, gambling halls. When the gold ran out, most people left. What stayed behind was these narrow lanes, these stone stairs, these tea houses looking out over the sea.
And now it's famous for something else. Is this the town that inspired the movie?
Many people say it inspired the look of Spirited Away, the bathhouse in the fog, the lanterns, the magical feeling. Studio Ghibli has never officially confirmed it, but once you stand here, you understand why people think so.
It feels like you might turn a corner and find a giant ghost.
Let's hope not. Let's find food instead.
There's something here, something that only settles on you when the sea fog rolls in and the lanterns blur into red halos, the taste of a mountain that gave up its gold and kept everything else.
Excited, what is it? Tell me, tell me.
Take a guess.
Mouth full, let me take a bite first. Excitedly, found them. Right here on the main lane, there's a cart with a big pot of colored balls and syrup, and the smell is incredible. Jiufen taro balls.
Jiufen is famous for them.
Excitedly, okay, look at these. There are 3 colors, purple, white, and orange-yellow. Purple is taro. White is sweet potato starch. Orange-yellow is pumpkin. They're all chewy and bouncy, like little gummies but softer, with this earthy sweetness. You get them in a bowl of shaved ice with brown sugar syrup, red bean, and taro paste at the bottom. 1 spoonful, cold, soft, sweet, chewy, all at once.
The chewiness is from the starch. Traditional recipe.
The purple taro ones are my favorite. They taste like the mountain itself, somehow. Earthy and sweet and gentle.
Jiufen taro balls have been made here for decades. You can watch the cooks roll them by hand in the back of the shops.
Mouth full, muffled, I could eat 5 bowls of this.
Save room. There's grass jelly cake later.
Gasping, oh I forgot. Okay. Slowing down. 3 bowls maximum.
We've been riding along with Sun Wukong for 10 episodes. But today, Sun Wukong is barely in the story. Today's chapter belongs to the Emperor of China.
Wait, what? The Emperor?
Journey to the West has a huge cast. And before the actual journey begins, before Tang Monk even sets off, we need to understand why the Emperor sends him. And that story starts with the Emperor dying.
Pause. The Emperor of China dying is how this podcast episode begins?
We are in Jiufen, the town of gold and ghosts. It fits.
Fair enough.
Emperor Taizong of the Tang Dynasty. One of the most famous rulers in Chinese history, brilliant, powerful, beloved. In the story, one night he has a terrible dream. A ghost appears, screaming, accusing, pointing at him.
Quietly, a ghost?
The ghost says, "You killed me. Don't you remember?" It turns out years ago, during the wars that brought Taizong to power, a rival named Lu Guoqin was defeated. His ghost has been waiting in the underworld all this time, furious, demanding justice. Every night, the dream comes back. The emperor wakes up shaking. He can't sleep. He gets sick.
So a guilty conscience made him ill?
That's one way to read it. The book says a dragon king he once promised to save and failed to save was also haunting him. 2 ghosts, 2 broken promises.
2 is bad.
Very bad. The emperor grows weaker and weaker. His doctors can't help. His ministers are alarmed. And then he dies.
Hushed, he actually dies?
He actually dies. For a while. His soul leaves his body and finds itself in a gray, foggy place. 2 men in official robes appear, polite, formal, like government clerks. They bow and say, "Your Majesty, please follow us. The judges of the underworld would like to see you."
Whispering, judges of the underworld?
In the Chinese tradition, the underworld is run like a court. There are 10 kings, 10 judges, each responsible for reviewing the deeds of the dead and assigning their next life. The whole system is enormous, billions of souls, careful record-keeping, files and ledgers and official stamps.
It sounds like a very bureaucratic afterlife.
Extremely. When the emperor arrives, the chief judge, King Yama, bows respectfully. He says, "Your Majesty, we apologize for the confusion. There's been a clerical error."
Laughing, a clerical error?
An underworld official had a quota to fill. He needed to bring in a certain number of souls by the end of the month, and he accidentally included the emperor's name.
He grabbed the wrong soul?
He was behind on his paperwork and grabbed whoever was on the list without checking carefully enough.
This is the most relatable afterlife story I have ever heard. Even in death, someone messes up the paperwork.
Bureaucracy is eternal.
King Yama is embarrassed but gracious. He says, "Since your Majesty is here anyway, would you like to look around? Not many living people get this chance."
Oh no. I don't want to look around the underworld.
The emperor is curious and, being an emperor, he accepts. He's led through vast halls and dark corridors. He sees the river of forgetfulness where souls drink before being reborn, to forget their previous lives. He sees queues of souls waiting to be judged, each one carrying a small bag of their deeds.
A bag of their deeds?
Everything you've done in life, good and bad, gets weighed. The underworld keeps meticulous records.
Quietly, that is a very anxiety-inducing image.
Then King Yama shows the emperor something else. He opens a ledger, the Book of Life and Death. It lists every person alive, the date they were born, and the date they are scheduled to die. The emperor's page is pulled out.
Tensely, and?
His death date was recorded as today.
Gasping, it says he's supposed to die today?
Correct. The clerical error got him here early, but his actual scheduled end is the same day.
Hushed, is he stuck?
King Yama looks at the ledger for a long time. Then he does something very unusual. He picks up a brush and adds 20 more years to the emperor's life.
He just writes more years in?
In the ledger, the death date is changed. 20 more years.
Can he do that?
He's the chief judge of the underworld. If anyone can do it, he can. But, and this is important, it's a loan. Not a gift. The emperor now owes the underworld 20 years of good deeds to justify the extension.
Slowly, so he borrowed his own life.
And he has to pay it back not with money, but with acts of kindness and justice. That's the deal.
That is a very unusual loan agreement.
King Yama also hands him a gift to take back to the living world, 2 jade melons. He says, "Give these to the judge of Fengdu City when you return. He and I are old friends."
Melon delivery from the underworld. Got it.
Laughing, exactly. The emperor wakes up alive, gasping, surrounded by his weeping ministers.
Let's pause there and talk about where we're standing. A short walk from the Old Street is the Gold Ecological Park, the old gold mine complex.
We can go inside the mine?
There's a tunnel you can walk through, the original mine shaft, now open to visitors. It's cool and dark inside, the walls glitter faintly. At the end of the tunnel, there's a gold bar you can try to lift.
Try to lift?
It's very heavy. The bar weighs about 220 kilograms. You put your hand in through a glass case and try to pick it up.
Nobody can lift 220 kilograms.
That's the point. The gold is there, you can touch it, but you can't take it with you.
Laughing, that is the cruelest museum exhibit I've ever heard of. Here is gold. You cannot have it.
But you know what? The emperor in today's story found something more valuable than gold down in the underworld. He got time. 20 more years.
And time is the one thing you really can't buy.
No matter how much gold is in the mountain.
Excitedly, okay. Grass jelly cake. I found them at a little shop near the bottom of the stone steps.
Grass jelly cake is a Hakka specialty. You find it all over northern Taiwan.
Excitedly, look at these, they're small, round, slightly flat cakes, dark green on the outside. The green color comes from mugwort, a herb that gives it this slightly bitter, herby smell. Inside is a filling, some are sweet red bean paste, some are savory with dried radish and minced pork. The skin is soft and sticky, like a thicker mochi, but with that herby taste cutting through the sweetness. It's like a cake that decided to also be a little bit wild.
Very traditional Taiwanese food.
The lady who made these kneaded each one by hand. You can see the little pinch marks on top. Every single one, by hand.
Grass jelly cake has been eaten at festivals and ceremonies for centuries. Originally it was made for Tomb Sweeping Day, Qingming, when families visit the graves of their ancestors.
Pause, Tomb Sweeping Day. We're eating grave food, in a ghost town, while hearing a story about the emperor visiting the underworld.
I noticed that too.
Eating, it tastes amazing though. No complaints.
The emperor is back. His ministers are overwhelmed with relief. But he is a changed man. He immediately calls his advisors. I was in the underworld. I saw everything. I owe 20 years of good deeds. What should I do?
What can you do to repay 20 years?
His advisor says, give. Give to the poor. Give to orphans and widows. Give to monks who have nowhere to go. Sponsor a grand ceremony to pray for the souls of the dead, all the soldiers who died in battle, all the people who died during the wars. They deserve prayers too.
Quietly, even the enemies?
even the enemies. The advisor says, every soul in the underworld that has no one to pray for them, they're stuck. They need someone to remember them.
That's surprisingly kind for a medieval story.
The emperor does something remarkable. He invites all the wandering souls, the forgotten ones, to be remembered in a grand ceremony. Not just his allies. Everyone.
And he sends the jade melons?
He sends a messenger on a horse immediately, Lu Quan, a loyal official, to deliver the melons to the judge in Fengdu. Lu Quan makes the journey in record time, delivers the melons, and the underworld judge is so pleased that he sends a small gift back, the spirit of Lu Quan's deceased wife, briefly allowed to return and say goodbye.
Quietly, oh. That's sad and sweet at the same time.
That's the underworld for you. Now, the emperor needs a monk. Not just any monk. A monk of exceptional holiness, learning, and courage, to lead a great ceremony, prayers for all the dead, a ceremony so grand and sincere that all the lost souls might find peace.
How do you find a monk like that?
A search is announced. Monks from across the land are invited to compete, a kind of audition for the most sacred position in the empire.
A monk audition.
Among the thousands who arrive, one stands out. A young monk orphaned as an infant, raised by a monastery on the Yangtze River, brilliant, sincere, kind. He had been preparing for this moment without knowing it. His name, Xuanzeng. Tang monk.
Excitedly, he's here. The main character.
Well, a main character. Sun Wukong is also a main character.
But Tang monk is the one the whole story is actually about.
In many ways, yes. The journey is his journey. Sun Wukong, Pigsy, Sandy, they're all there to protect him and help him grow. He's the one who must actually reach India and return with the scriptures.
What's he like?
Gentle. Deeply kind. Sometimes frustratingly so, he cannot bring himself to harm any living thing, even a mosquito. That gentleness is both his greatest virtue and the thing that gets him into trouble most often.
I already love him. So what does this chapter actually say? About life and death and all of that?
A few things. The emperor, one of the most powerful people in the world, dies and finds out that the underworld keeps records on everyone equally. No special treatment for being emperor. Your life is in the ledger the same as anyone else's.
That's a bit humbling.
And then he gets a second chance, but it comes with a condition. It's not free. You have to do something with it.
Thoughtfully, most people who almost die, or come back from something really hard, they do change. They start doing things they kept putting off. They call the people they love. They stop being mean for no reason.
Because suddenly they see the ledger. They see that the time is actually limited.
Do you think the emperor really went to the underworld? Like, do the people who wrote this story believe he literally died and came back?
Some did. Some read it as a dream, a very vivid dream that changed him. Some read it as a metaphor. Every ruler must one day face the weight of everything they've done. The underworld is just what that reckoning looks like.
Every version of that reading leads to the same place.
Which is?
You have a limited amount of time. Don't waste it. Give what you can, while you can.
Quietly, yeah.
So now the ceremony is being planned. Tang monk has been chosen. But something is about to happen at the ceremony that will change everything. A mysterious figure will appear, disguised, and give Tang monk a gift and a mission.
Excitedly, who?
Guanyin, the Bodhisattva of compassion. she's been watching all of this from the very beginning. She knows there are scriptures in India teachings that could help millions of suffering souls. And she's been looking for the right person to make the journey and retrieve them.
Tang monk is that person.
He's been chosen without knowing it. His whole life, the orphan raised by monks, the years of study, the great ceremony, all of it was preparation for a journey he doesn't know is coming yet.
That is both amazing and terrifying. What if you found out your whole life was preparation for one enormous thing you hadn't done yet?
That's next episode.
I am not ready for this. But also I am very ready.
Time to wrap up. The lanterns are getting brighter as the fog rolls in from the sea. The stone steps below us are getting quieter, the day trippers are heading back down the mountain, and Jiufen is becoming itself again.
Today we climbed to Jiufen Old Street, red lanterns in the sea mist, tea houses perched over the cliff, a mountain that once gave up all its gold and now gives up its beauty. We ate bouncy, earthy taro balls in sweet syrup, and soft green grass jelly cakes that taste like mountain herbs and ceremony. And we heard about an emperor who died, toured the underworld, borrowed 20 more years from a judge who keeps records on everyone, and came back determined to repay every minute.
He saw the ledger. And it changed everything.
Next time, we head to Pingshi's sky lanterns floating up into the dark, a waterfall the size of Niagara, charcoal grilled sausage and handmade mochi. And the story, Tang monk is chosen for the greatest journey in history, Guanyin appears in disguise at the ceremony, and the adventure officially begins.
The journey starts. Finally.
Softly, every minute in your ledger is a gift, spend it kindly. On Bao Island, stories grow up with you.